Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I know you think I'm crazy. What I say about Fancy Macelli, and she is indeed an instrument of the Lord in these end times working to help uncover the evil here. Uncover the real evil part of this case, the actual evil part. All right? Like I've been saying, it's a sacrifice from jump. And I don't know that she even knows this, and she doesn't, I don't even believe she knows how significant this is what she did. Again, here's another time, guys. Once again, I was on YouTube, okay? And this short came up, and I thought, well, it's a new short from Fancy, so I clicked on it. All right? I'm going to refer you to the short, okay? You people on YouTube, I'm going to have it in the description linked. If I put this on TikTok, you guys, I can't link it there. So I'm going to have to ask you for context to go over to YouTube, all right? And go on Fancy Macelli, the Good Wives Network. Look for her shorts. And you're going to have to scroll down a little bit, and it's going to say, I think it says on top of it, says, wrong again, LOL. It's down a little while. It was actually, she put it out, I looked, January 20th of 2025. It's been out a whole year almost. And I didn't even start till April doing this stuff, really. And I hadn't seen it. I'm telling you, man, it's fate. I'm telling you, God put that in front of my eyes today, guys, because this is so significant. How this corroborates what I'm saying, man. All right? So in the description, if it's on YouTube, if this is on TikTok, please go find that short. All right? This is what it is, guys. I've told you from the start. Mike Stansfield is a Luciferian, so is Dan Patterson. That is why they were put on this case. That is why he was assigned to Gypsy, or vice versa, whatever. And that's why Dan Patterson is the prosecutor that was put on that case. Okay? Because they are Luciferians. And what Fancy uncovered. Now she knew it was significant, but I don't think she has any idea how significant it is. Oh my God, especially what I'm saying. Please go watch this short. What she found out is amazing. Okay? Now, listen to me. You guys have to follow me, okay? Follow me. This shows that Mike Stansfield jumped right on her case right away and took it and started from the ground, hitting the ground running. Let me explain. She was arrested in Wisconsin on June the 15th. Okay? Follow me. They went to first appearance. All right? And then at that point, they would have been able to they could fight extradition or waive extradition at first appearance. If they waive extradition, it was what they did, then they're saying, okay, Missouri can come and get them. If they would have fought extradition, there is an extradition process that they would have went through, and they would have remained there for some time till it was completed. They would have won anyway, and they would have handed them over to them. But you can fight extradition, and you have to go through a process. And it takes a little bit of time. But they waived it, so it doesn't matter. So what the deal is when they were in Wisconsin on June the 15th, like I said, they were given attorneys there. They have to do first appearance, okay? Although the case wasn't for them, they had to go to court and be made abreast of your charges, okay? They have a thing in America with the first 24 and for sure 48 hours of you being arrested. If your freedom's taken away from you for any reason, you are supposed to be brought before a judge, and they make you aware of your charges and that you understand them. And the other thing is that you're given a court date, a first court date. All right? So no one can ever get lost in the jail, like just sitting there waiting on a court date. You always have to have a court date. Okay? And that's what the first appearance is. This is the only thing Fancy misspoke on. And this is a common thing. When you watch the video, she's going to say that they were arraigned. They weren't arraigned. They went to first appearance. And here's the confusion, okay? Because people refer to your first court date as your arraignment, because it is once the case is going. Your first court date is the first time you go to plead guilty or not guilty. Your first appearance is something different. but it's your actual first court appearance, but it's not your first court appearance because it's just to make you abreast of your charges. And it's whatever judge happens to be on schedule that day. It's not even going to be your judge, right? So that's not part of your case. The date they give you that day, that's your first real court date. And that's your arraignment. So when people see, though, that it says, oh, their first court date, or the first time they go to court, which is their first appearance, people often mistakenly call that their arraignment. That's not your arraignment. Your arraignment's when you plead. And they would have never had an arraignment in Wisconsin, and they didn't. They had their arraignment on June 29th when they would both plead not guilty initially, okay? I just want to clear that up if you're watching her video. That's the only thing she misspoke on, all right? Okay, so what happens is they got arrested on the 15th. At that point, before they even did first appearance, I mean, they have to work out, do they want to waive extradition or not? Okay, so at this point, they're still in Wisconsin. If they wouldn't have waived extradition, they would have been given a whole different set of attorneys, different from the ones they had for first appearance. Someone in Wisconsin would have represented their behalf, basically fighting Missouri to come and get them. All right, it's a different state, man. And yes, you have the right to fight them. They'll hold you until there's their extradition hearing, and if the judge finds there's not cause to hold you for them, then they'll let you go. But of course, for this, they were going to hand them over anyway, and their attorneys told them that. You're going to lose. And the whole time that you're sitting in jail awaiting extradition, that time does not count on your sentence. So if they would have sat there for 6 months or something, none of that time would have counted. Because what happened then is, it was June the 15th. They stayed there 9 days, and then they landed in Missouri on June the 25th. That is why, when their time started, that is why when she got sentenced to 10 years even, her parole ended June 25th of 2025. Exactly 10 years from the day that her time started. Time didn't start on the 15th in Wisconsin. It started when she landed there. That's when her jail credit would have started, okay? And that's why. And then they waited 4 days, and then they went to court June 29th, and they had their arraignment there, and that's when they pled not guilty. They didn't get a first appearance in Missouri because you don't have to, because they got their first appearance on these charges in Wisconsin. All right? Is everyone clear on that? All right. Here's the part. Here's the good part. Mike Stanfield, and she shows that she knows the date and time down. Mike Stanfield went into court to the clerk of court and registered as the attorney of record for Gypsy on the fucking 15th of June. A public defender in Missouri. When at that point, we don't even know if they're going to waive extradition or not. Guys, the legal system does not work that way. It works sequential, and one thing triggers the next thing to happen. You don't start anything until you know you got what we all know that they would have lost if they fought extradition. But you never know. You don't start anything until you get them in custody. He went up there on the day before she even went to first appearance in Wisconsin and went as a public defender and went and registered on the clerk of court as her attorney of record. Unheard of. Public defenders don't, guys, I know how this goes. They didn't think someone was going to know all this shit. They didn't think some nosy motherfucker was going to know what was going on. And now look, Fancy Macelli just unknowingly uncovered this like, well, this is something, but, you know, it's just bull. She looked at it like, well, it's just unfair that he got an attorney, but Gypsy didn't. No, it's way deeper than that. The Luciferians, they sent him in and said, go down there, you're her attorney. Public defenders don't do that. Public defenders in their office are assigned their caseload. They either have depending on the size of the jurisdiction in your public defender's office, you either have a supervisor that's an attorney over everybody that doles out the caseload, or the manager of the office is the actual elected public defender who ultimately is over the whole office. They hand out who gets assigned to who and whose case is who. And public defenders don't go in to the court and register as the attorney. No! The public defender does it from the fucking office. Private attorneys that are criminal defense attorneys that are retained by the family or the person, they go up there and they register as the attorney of record. There's no rhyme or reason why he did that, except for what I've been telling you from the start. He is a Luciferian, so is Dan Patterson. The medical examiner was bought and sold because they were adjacent. Someone that's not necessarily Luciferian but works with them. Nick's attorney is one of those two. The only one that was clean in this whole thing was that fucking judge. You guys, it's what I've said from start, man. They jumped into action as soon as they went south, and she didn't kill Nick like she was supposed to. She was supposed to take Nick out and say she took him out in self-defense after he raped her and her mother, and then be the town home hero, and they wouldn't have to fool with any of this. When it went south, they immediately jumped in to help her. She's one of theirs now. She drank of the cup of the blood of the sacrifice. David Blanchard had it on film. He turned it in. He said, man, look, it went south. They immediately jumped to help her, man. This is how it goes, guys. They're going to help their own and shield them. This is what they did immediately. And Mike Stanfield, I can't believe they're so blatant to slip like that. See how they know they get away with anything, that they run the world? There's no rhyme or reason for a public defender. And he was not in private practice yet, guys. And no one paid him and retained him. He's a Luciferian, and they sent him in there and said, go down there and defend this bitch, man. She's one of ours. And that is exactly what happened, guys. It's nothing different. It's nothing different, man. And linked in the description below, man. Once again, Fancy Macelli coming through. This is on TikTok. It's not going to be linked, but please go over and watch the short of Fancy's. You got to scroll down a little bit. At the top, it says, wrong again, LOL. And I got to say, I don't know, man. I see this. I just saw it today. It's been out since last January. And this is so significant to what I'm saying. I've told everyone, I got a zillion videos that Mike Stanfield jumped into action right away to help her. And that's her go-to guy now. That's why he's her manager. That's why the whole time she's in prison, he's running around building this narrative for her. That's her go person between her and the Brotherhood. That's her go-to guy. And that is the only reason why he went up there and did that. Public defenders don't go up there and register as anyone's fucking attorney of record. Only private attorneys that are retained go do that. Oh my God. This is so amazing. This is such good evidence. Once again, Mike Stanfield, front and center, man. You got some fucking explaining to do. I love you so much, Fancy Macelli. She came through again, guys. She doesn't even know she's doing it, man. Oh, my God, I love you. I love you guys so much, man. See you in the next video.